It almost feels like I never wanted to come back. I've been off the last 2 weeks. Thank God for the holidays. Christmas on a Monday, New Year's Day on a Monday. So I've had some Johnny Carson relaxation, but it's time to get back to it. Today, got a special show talking about the Seneca Falls Development Corporation, also 2020. No, that's not your TV program on ABC, but we'll get into it with my good friend Joell Murney-Karsten, who's in the studios, along with Greg Zeller. Joell, Greg, thank you for joining us, and it's nice to have you along.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. First off, Greg, let's get to yourself. You are your title is the Director of the Seneca Falls Development Corporation.
Sure.
Talk a little bit about how long you've been involved with that, and what does actually your title encompass? What do you do, like week to week, month to month, to keep this thing rolling?
Definitely varies. I've been with them since November of last year, and it's on a part-time basis.
Okay.
But kind of the tasks that I'm in charge of will vary depending on what's needed. We're trying to do a lot with economic development pursuits, redoing the economic development plan and the comprehensive plan. 2020 is going to be a big part of what I do, which we'll get into soon for sure. And also dipping our toes in grant pursuits, more on the smaller side than going state, federal, but to see if we can get some small wins for the town.
That's all that counts. And, of course, I've known Joell a long time. I was very good friends with her dad, who's up in heaven smiling. I worked with Gary for many, many years at Gould's Pumps. Fantastic guy to work with, by the way. I always enjoyed working with Gary. Joell, you're, of course, now, your title is the chair. Explain what your role is involving the corporation.
Certainly. So I've been chair 2 years now. And got on the Seneca Falls Development Corporation board, partially as my job with Del Lago Resort and Casino. We're always very interested in local economic development, so that's very important. And they asked me to be chair right off the board. I was a bit surprised, but stepped up, and we were really trying for economic development, unifying the community, trying to get everybody to kind of work together, cross-market, cross-promote. And certainly having Greg on board has been a tremendous help because I kind of felt like I had an additional job that I wasn't getting paid for. And so it's worked out great. And we also oversee the farmers market, which Greg runs as well. So that's also been, he's really knocked that out of the park. So 2020, I'm going to let you kind of introduce that. Well, but that's kind of one of the newest things we've been charged with.
Right. The next topic, obviously, is what is special about the year 2020 for Seneca Falls.
Right.
Take it from there.
So 2020 is 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote. And obviously, Seneca Falls is recognized nationally as the birthplace of women's rights.
Sure.
So the two go hand in hand. And we have been approached both by the state and the Fed saying, what is Seneca Falls going to do for 2020? And this is a huge opportunity to keep Seneca Falls on the map, promote ourselves, and really knock it out of the park. And that's what we plan on doing.
And, of course, 2020, Greg, it won't be that long before it's here.
That's right.
As we approach, now we're into 2018, so we're talking about a couple of years. The thing is amazing, and I think I've mentioned this to Joell in our passing, I should note, I think everybody knows I worked at Del Lago for 10 months, and I left in December, but hopefully someday I might go back, you never know, so keep your eyes on me there. I've enjoyed the people out there, but the thing that I always was amazed about when you mentioned, it's countrywide, people come in from all over the states to come visit Seneca Falls. It is mind-boggling. And me being a Seneca Falls guy primarily all my life, moving here when I was 2 and going back and living in Geneva for 5 years once I married my wife Mary. Other than that, I've been a Seneca Falls-based guy, and I think about it. I think about driving through Fall Street a zillion times a year, Joell and Greg, and during the summertime I see these buses, these tour buses that come in, and there are Chinese women and there's Chinese men, and there are people from all over, literally the world, that visit Seneca Falls via tour groups. And I pinch myself saying, I really never appreciate it because I'm here. Do you get that sometimes, the feeling that you're here? Hey, we are Seneca Falls. We get a lot of national recognition. We get a lot of state recognition. I never realized how important this place is. And I think, to your point, it is very important. And you really don't realize it if you've been here and you don't appreciate. And I now do appreciate it much more than I did. I just took it for granted. I don't know if many people do that. But you say, wow, Seneca Falls, it's a wonderful life. All these things that bring us people to the town. And it's pretty incredible. So you're right. We have a lot to be proud of here.
We do. And there's stories about women that sat in front of the laundromat getting signatures for all those years to help ratify the 19th Amendment right here in Seneca Falls. And so there's a lot of women that really paved the way for the rest of us, things that maybe we don't appreciate. But yes, I think it's normal human nature that we don't take advantage of what's right in our backyard. And actually this initiative kind of gives people, asks people to do just that, whether you're here in Seneca Falls or all over the world is what we're hoping, is that we have this initiative that we'll explain soon on how everybody can get involved in the 2020 celebration and be part of Seneca Falls, even if you can't physically be here. Right,
and I guess the next point is, maybe we've already talked a little bit about this, but why is Seneca Falls Development Corporation taking the lead? And Joell, that's a perfect roll in. Why is SF, DC, all of a sudden becoming the lead into this? Is there reasoning behind that?
So there is. So the SFDC, the Seneca Falls Development Corporation, is technically an arm of the Seneca Falls Town Council. And so we always have the town supervisor and one other town council member always sit on the SFDC board. And the town and Supervisor Lazaro actually came to us and said we would like the SFDC to oversee this 2020 celebration. So what our role is to kind of come in. Number one, we don't want the politics involved. This has nothing to do with politics.
Exactly.
And that's what very clear the town council wanted, which was great foresight on their part. And said to us, we just want you to oversee it. We want to make sure that we have key players involved and that we have one website, we have one social media site, we have one calendar that everyone can go to for specific events. So that's what we are. We are pretty much just kind of overseeing. We are not dictating that we want this or this. It is just an oversight type of thing with the key players that we'll talk about next to make sure that, there's one site that anybody can go to find out the events, find out what's going on, as well as stay in tune with the whole process, and then also kind of being able to bring everybody together.
Joell Murney-Karsten is my special guest today, along with Greg Zellers. Greg, of course, Joell is the chair of the Seneca Falls Development Corporation, and Greg's title is he's the director. And I guess the point that we should go to now, as we are talking about a lot of good things here in development. We're going to talk about what their feelings are, where we are right now, and what they have on the hot plate maybe down the road that enhance Seneca Falls. But Joell, to your point, let's talk about key players in 2020.
Right.
Let's talk about what's going to be taking place there.
So what we have done is we have gone to the National Women's Hall of Fame, the Women's Rights National Historical Park, the Seneca Falls Historical Society, and the Seneca Falls School District, and said we definitely want those groups involved. We want to be sure that they have events on the calendar because they all have so much to bring to the table when it comes to this topic. And I think one of the things that we want to make sure, the school district in that level, the kind of students in that age group a lot of times gets left out in a lot of things. So we've already met with the school and said, we would like you to go to the students and say, what would you like to see? What events? Right. And then not only that, but coordinate. So let's say the National Women's Park brings in someone to speak. That's something that we can also coordinate, that maybe they also visit the school. So this is all kind of the cross collaboration. The other really interesting thing is we've said to each of these organizations, we would like each of you to have a very special product that we're going to sell that is for 2020. And I think they've got some great ideas, something for everyone. And certainly with the school district, it would be something that is developed by the students. So kind of money makers for them, but a collectible type item for 2020 of artistic nature. So there's a lot of opportunities there. But obviously, that doesn't mean that if someone comes to us from another organization and says, we'd like to put something on the calendar, we'd like to do an event, we'd like to bring in a speaker or something. Right. Absolutely, we're inviting everyone to the table, all ideas. But these are the organizations that we felt are really key collaborators for for this year-long celebration.
I was just going to ask you. I was going to ask you the time capsule for 2020. This is going to be a year-long celebration.
That's
correct. This isn't going to be like a 30-day deal.
Correct.
It's going to be like going to a fair and it's all of a sudden 7 days and it's over.
Right.
It's going to right straight through the year.
That's right.
That's impressive. We've got a lot of time to do a lot of things.
We do, exactly. and what the plan is to kick it off with the It's a Wonderful Life festival and race in December of 19 and end it with the same in December of 2020. So you've got an entire year. Wow. We've already discussed with them about doing some special things, and everybody's on board, and it's really an awesome.
Well, Greg, that's to me, that's a great time span because you have literally 365 days to engage all kinds of activities. Not that you have to do something every single day, but literally you can encompass a lot, as you mentioned, the Elks Club, all these different clubs, everybody who wants to get involved. It gives you an opportunity to put them on the canvas for potential. Now, ultimately, the board or the people are involved are going to ultimately decide what the final program is going to look like. Because you certainly got to have it figured out, right? By
Correct.
The Wonderful Life in 19, here's what we're going to be doing. And not that you couldn't make some last-minute changes, I guess, because it is going to run a year.
Right.
But it's pretty impressive. So you really have a lot of time to shine.
It allows us to get as many groups and organizations participating as possible. If we have a whole year and it runs along an event that they're having, we can coordinate with them. And I don't know, I think rather than having one weekend, having a whole year, we can get as many people in the town involved.
No, I think it's great. And, of course, Joel, I would guess that invitations will be sent out to the president and vice president and all walks of life.
Absolutely. Well, and we've got a lot of special Congressman Gillibrand is very involved.
Right.
Right here in Auburn, I know there's already some suffrage movement events going on. So absolutely, we are going to hit up all of those.
Now, the timeline on the Women's Hall of Fame reconstruction, the old Seneca Knitting Mill, would that be worked on at that point, or will it be completed? Do we have any idea of the time span of what that would look like?
Well, Menzo Case sits on that board,
right.
And of course he's on the SFDC board. So, certainly I know they're hoping.
Right.
They're working with grants and numerous things. So
we're looking at 2 years? Pretty much?
Right. Yep. Or at least be on the first floor and have the first floor open.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
That is the hope. And then, of course, they have another induction ceremony in 19. That certainly can lead into, one of our big things that we're hoping to do is have a reunion of all of the living inductees. We'd like them all to be invited for one big weekend event. And one of the nice things is that we do have the option of the Del Lago Theater, and we've already been in contact with them, obviously, about doing some events there. So I think that opens the doors because we have literally a state-of-the-art theater that we can kind of offer some big names the option to be able to come in.
That's a great move
for that
too.
As well.
Yeah, we have that asset only a couple miles away from here.
Exactly.
Well, listen, we have Joell Murney-Karsten in, and along with Greg Zeller. But while I got Joel here, I want to touch on something with Del Lago. She, of course, is in charge of community relationships with the casino as it relates to the public. And I know you and me have had many discussions about donations, and I think it's important that you're here. I've had more people since I worked there for 10 months, and myself and Mary get out there quite often. And they see you work there, whether it was a consultant or whether it be Joel. How do I file a donation request? And nobody better than her can explain what it takes and what it will not allow, or give us the background. Because I think some people are a little confused. And I was glad you're coming today because I said we're going to talk about the SF Development Corporation. We're also going to talk about the donations that relate to Del Lago because I know it's dear to your heart. You're on that committee. So explain what people have to do and what the regulations are to be considered.
Certainly.
If you would be so kind.
Yep, on our website, which is DelLagoResort.com, you would go to the About Us tab on the very right, and you actually click on About Us, not the drop-down menu. And that actually takes you to both our policy and the donation request form. One of the things that we pride ourselves on is that we only advertise to the people who we want to come into Del Lago, which is obviously the over 21 crowd. So we feel it is very important that we advertise in a professional manner when it comes to that because obviously gaming is involved. Right. So basically we generally do not donate to under 21 type organizations just because we just don't feel that it's in our best interest, nor is it wise to do so. So all of the information is actually right on the website, both the policy and the form. And because sometimes we do receive sometimes up to 20 requests a day.
I can believe that.
The form is required, and you do need to be a 501c3 type organization. that does not, serve the under 21 population by more than 50%.
What about time to get the approval or disapproval? Does that take a month, a
week?
We
do prefer 90 days.
Okay, 90.
We do have a committee that it goes before, so that's
Okay.
kind of what we prefer. It does take time to turn things around, certainly if there's sponsorships or advertising involved and we need to do an ad or that type of thing. So 90
Good.
days is our preference, usually probably no less than 60.
Excellent, because I've had more people ask me, because they know I know Joelle, what's it like? Well, give her a call.
Yes.
We have this possibility, and we got kids in Little League. I said, it's not going to work. I said, but talk to Joelle, and she'll tell you where to go to get the information. So I'm glad, since I got you on the show, we'll take advantage of your abilities to explain what it takes to get a donation. And by the way, speaking of donations, not that this is a Del Lago show, hopefully we'll have Jeff Babinski on in 3 weeks from today, our general manager, executive vice president. We're scheduled him, hopefully, on the 29th of January. But it's interesting as you speak, because people get so confused about, and you of all people know you've been at these events where Del Lago has been very generous since they opened the door, giving away 500 turkeys during that season. I saw your picture there. Going up and getting pies from that wonderful outfit in Rochester for gifts that they gave away, 3,500 pies. So they continuously do things to help people, various organizations throughout Central New York.
Yeah, we're very big on economic development.
And that's
Absolutely.
big. And that's big. Well, listen, we're at 3:17. I think, Jimmy, we should let's play the video if we want to. Let's do the video, then we'll take our commercial break, and we can go back and talk to Greg and Joell Murney-Karsten here on The Weber Show on a Monday. We're going to play you a little video. Hope you enjoy it.
In 1848, 72 years prior to the passage of the 19th Amendment, the first Women's Rights Convention was held in Seneca Falls, New York. There, local resident Elizabeth Cady Stanton presented the Declaration of Sentiments, a document recognized as the cornerstone of the women's rights movement.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal.
Endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, and among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Which constrains them to demand the equal station to which they are entitled.
Rights and privileges which belong to them as citizens of these United States.
The duty of the women of this country to secure to themselves their sacred right to the elective franchise.
Of the resolutions proposed in this document, voting equality narrowly survived the final draft. The concept of a woman's right to vote was considered so absurd that delegates feared the women's rights movement wouldn't be taken seriously unless removed. Decades of opposition, ridicule, and indifference followed the Declaration of Sentiments, yet the dedicated persevered, and in 1920, the 19th Amendment was passed, granting women the right to vote. To honor Elizabeth Cady Stanton, the elementary school located just blocks from her home bears her name, and today, the students join us in unveiling the Seneca Falls 2020 celebration. To commemorate the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment, Seneca Falls will host a year-long celebration featuring a calendar of special events. Even if you're unable to visit Seneca Falls in person, you can still participate through our Embracing History photo initiative. Simply snap a 2-0 photo in front of any historic landmark, building, sign, or monument in your town and visit SenecaFalls2020.com to add it to our digital wall. With a goal of adding thousands of photos from around the world between now and 2020, we hope you will join this historic collective. Join us in honoring the achievements and contributions of those behind the women's rights movement. Join us in recognizing inspirational women from around the world. Join us in celebrating the passage of the 19th Amendment. Join us in Seneca Falls.
Acting as a gateway to the Finger Lakes, Del Lago leverages the natural beauty and unique offerings while enhancing tourism in the region. The casino features 2,000 slot machines, 89 gaming tables, including 12 poker tables. Portico by Fabio Viviani, a 2,400-person entertainment center. Farmers Market Buffet. The hotel, spa, and banquet facility will open summer 2017. Cayuga Lake National Bank. Visit Bill Ryan and his team for all of your banking needs. Offices in Union Springs and Aurora, a fine sponsor of this show for over 30 years. DA Liquor on Bridge Street in Seneca Falls. Amy Padula and her team will find the right spirit for you every time. When you stop in, tell Amy the dog sent you. The Gould Hotel welcomes you to come out and enjoy the revitalization of this historic downtown Seneca Falls landmark. Every Wednesday is Ladies' Night with special price drinks and half-priced appetizers. The Omen Theater on William Street in Lyons. See what's playing this week at omentheater.com. Located off New York State Thruway Exit 41, the McGee Diner has earned their reputation as a popular family restaurant, serving country fresh home-cooked meals daily. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and check out their menu at mcgeediner.com. The Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes is a child-friendly location where allegations of physical or sexual abuse are responded to by a multidisciplinary team of professionals. The team works together to conduct a thorough investigation and to provide necessary support services to children and their non-offending caregivers with a goal of minimizing further trauma to a child. Seneca Metals is an award-winning company that has earned a reputation of going above and beyond to protect the environment and support their community. As an EPA inspector once said, their operation is head and shoulders above the rest. And the Newark Pilots of the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, a minor league team with a major league ballpark. Season ticket packages available at newarkpilots.com. And the Wilson Press in Seneca Falls. My good pal Rich Rickey and his team can handle all of your printing and mailing needs. Visit them online at wpress.com. Welcome back, everybody. Joell Murney-Karsten joining us today along with Greg Zeller. Of course, they're representing the Seneca Falls Development Corporation. We're going to get back to them in just a minute, but I would not be Harold Weber if I didn't mention a little bit about sports. After all, we are coming up at 3:23, and within 4.5 hours, Jimmy Seneca will be glued to the TV set as Alabama takes on Georgia for the National Football Championship tonight, and that is a big one. And, of course, just for you folks that I use Las Vegas lines because that's where it's legal to bet. If you think, let me back up a minute. Nick Saban, the head coach of the Alabama Crimson Tide, has taken on 11 teams who have been coached by former assistants of Saban. 11 of them. You know what Saban's record at Alabama is? 11-0. Tonight, Kirby Smart, the coach of Georgia, obviously was with Nick Saban for like 11 years before he got that new gig in Georgia. I don't think it's going to change. I still like Alabama. I don't think the game is going to be a wild runaway. I do, however, think the 4-point line in Las Vegas is maybe too much. I look for Alabama to sneak it out by 1 or 2 points. That's just my gut feeling. And I think his streak will be 12, taking on former coaches that he worked for Nick Saban under the years. Pretty amazing. And NFL playoffs for you folks that may not know this, just give a quick rundown. Of course, the lines are out. You might get pumped up for this. We have Atlanta, believe it or not, going into Philadelphia. They're favored by 3 points on Saturday, which sort of surprised me. And at 8 o'clock at night, no surprise here in New England, a 13.5-point favorite over Tennessee. On Sunday, it is going to be the Jaguars taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Pittsburgh is a 7.5-point favorite. And the final game on Sunday, it's going to be Minnesota Vikings, 3.5-point favorite against the New Orleans Saints. So there's your sports topics, and we get back to Joell. And by the way, just had the chance to watch the video. Greg, great job.
Thank you.
Awesome job. And, for something that's only, 2.5, 3 minutes long, it tells a lot about Seneca Falls and about what's coming up.
I'm actually going to let Greg talk about the
Yeah.
making of the video.
Please tell us a little bit.
Everything is Seneca Falls based. I mean, obviously everything was filmed. We had a local teacher, Mr. Pavlak, do the narration. A lot of the kids got involved.
That's great.
And the 2-0 that you see people doing, let's see if I'm on there.
Yeah.
That is part of the campaign that we want to get out, to have people locally, people nationwide, even globally. The more photos that we can harvest of people sending us their pictures with the 2-0, we're going to build a digital wall, and we're hoping to have thousands of pictures to bring more attention to the event, the 2020 event. And that information is available on the website and also be on our Facebook page as well. So.
It sounds like it's a wonderful, wonderful video. First time I'd seen it, and it's very well done. Congratulations to you and the people that helped you put it together. Joell, of course, one of the things, you talk about how anybody in Seneca Falls and the surrounding area, and really, don't have to be just from Seneca Falls, anywhere in the area would like to celebrate this occasion. Our neighbors, how can they get involved? What can they do? Can they send a note that they're interested in helping out? They want to serve on a committee. How does it all work?
Absolutely. We're definitely interested in ideas. People can serve on boards. Our website, you can go on, send us a message. We're also on Facebook. So they can certainly find us on both of those places and send us a message, or if they have ideas. But the big thing is doing the I'm doing it the wrong way.
Yeah.
0 to the left, you got it.
The 2-0 and sending in a picture, and then we're going to have an interactive map, and it's going to show everybody's location from all over the world. And basically, we want a lot from Seneca Falls. It's really important we get a lot of people from Seneca Falls. But this is also encouraging people, like we were talking about, to go out and explore the historic things in your own neighborhood. Find something historic and take the 2-0 picture, upload it, put it on our website, and you'll be on, your picture will be on, as well as your location on a map. So.
Yeah, it should be easy. Everybody's got their smartphones today.
Oh, yeah.
You snap a picture. You can send it right from your phone via our Facebook page. You can upload it there. It takes mere seconds.
Now, let me do the play-by-play since I'm going to close the show in a couple minutes. The 2 goes in the left hand?
No, 0 goes in the left.
0 goes in the 2 goes here.
It'll look backwards to you.
Yep.
But this is good right here? All right,
That's it.
This is good. Okay. So,
Well, you want to do the 0 instead of the 3.
Oh, okay. Get the hand down
There you go.
Like that. Like that?
Now you're celebrating 2-0, not
Okay. I'll keep
23.
that there. Okay. Jimmy's got us on camera. Well.
There it is, 2-0.
All right. The 2-0. We'll try to remember that when we close our show. But, well, guys, I appreciate taking time out. Show is almost 3:28 now. I told you, Joel, it goes so fast around here. But certainly we would love to have you guys come back down the road later in the year if you want to come in and give us updates on what's happening.
Absolutely, we'd love to.
If I'm not back working at Del Lago, Joel and me know how to communicate with each other since we're Facebook friends. And Greg, we'd love to have you come back as well.
Great.
So, again, everybody should be excited about it. We are going to be the center of the universe for 2020. Literally, in this... all the states that make up this wonderful United States, nothing's going to be greater than Seneca Falls, New York. And the beauty of Seneca Falls, New York is we got so much working for us, and this is only going to be the ice cream on the pie. It's going to be great. And I love the scenario. I wondered about how long you're going to celebrate it. I like the fact it's a whole year. It's kind of neat. Yep. And you've got a lot of space to fill in a lot of different programs and a lot of events.
Yep, and we'll fill it.
And guess
come
what?
see the seasons, right? We've got something to offer every season in the Finger Lakes. So.
And the beauty of it having a year, if you don't have something scheduled for tomorrow, you have a rain out today for an outside event, you do it tomorrow.
Exactly.
So, well, good. Thank you very much for joining us. Look forward to having you come back. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So, hey, speaking of upcoming shows, let's run it down. We thank Greg and Joel for spending some time with us talking about this important issue coming up in 2020. If you're concerned about kids and adults, et cetera, and it's a wonderful organization, Safe Harbors. We have a young lady coming in next week. Marissa Roubaix is coming in. She is the executive director of Safe House. She'll be here. I'm not sure if John Clear is going to be with her or who she's bringing with, but we expect her to bring someone as well. We'll be discussing Safe Harbors. And, of course, on the 22nd, we are thrilled to have... and I kid about this. I was busting his chops because he's a friend of mine on Facebook. I love Connie's Diner. Who doesn't? You can never get in the joint, but it's phenomenal over there. Food is reasonable. Prices are great. It's just a lot of fun. Carmen Cardozola will be my special guest, and he denied me 3 or 4 times, but the dog never gives up. I start chewing on his ankles, and he finally agreed to come on the 22nd to talk about Connie's Diner, how it all got started, why it's so spectacular, why every time you drive by there on a Friday or Saturday night, you see people outside the door. Which, by the way, Karma, would not be me and Mary, but that's okay. We don't wait. We got to go down the street. Also, on the 29th, we are expecting Jeff Babinski, Executive Vice President, General Manager. Fingers crossed on him arriving. We've had him scheduled 2 times previously, but unfortunately, as Joel can be my testifier, saying that he does get busy at the last second. And then a show that I'm going to be doing on the 5th of February, something that brings back a lot of good memories for me, and that's the Hunter's Diner over in Auburn, New York, on Genesee Street. Rachel and Bill Joell. The reason that is because when I had my eye accident, my mom used to take me to Auburn for day after day for checkups, and 2 days and 4 days and 6 days. I was going there about every three days. We went to Hunter's Diner to get grilled cheese or toasted cheese and soup because I was going to see the eye doctor because after my colossal eye injury. So Hunter's Diner ownership is brand new. They're great people. I met Rachel, and she'll be on along with her husband on the 5th, knock on wood, of February. We'll be spotlighting Hunter's Diner in Auburn, New York. So speaking for Jimmy Senecropi, our director, producer, and owner of Finger Like Swan, along with Greg Zeller, and also Joell Murney-Karsten. You have a great day, everybody. It's the dog signing you off and well. Should we do it this way, right? 2? How's that? Is that it?